How do car engines work? The internal combustion engine uses small controlled explosion inside the combustion chamber which pushes the piston down. The piston's reciprocating movement rotates the crankshaft to power the vehicle. All modern engines are 4-stroke: intake, compression, power and exhaust. During the intake stroke, piston moves down. At the same time, the intake valve opens and the air and fuel mixture rushes into the chamber. Next stage is compression, in which the piston moves back and the intake valve closes, compressing the air and fuel mixture. Then comes the power stroke, in which the compressed air and fuel mixture is ignited using a spark plug, which results in a controlled explosion pushing down the piston at force. The last stage is exhaust stroke, at which the exhaust valve opens and all the burned exhaust gas exits the chamber. The intake and the exhaust valves are controlled by camshafts. The camshaft is connected to the crankshaft. This whole process happens thousands of times in a minute. How ship engines work? Ships usually use a 2-stroke diesel engine. The downward stroke is a combination of power and exhaust process, and the upward stroke is a combination of intake and compression process. The fresh air enters the combustion chamber through the scavenging ports, and as the piston moves upwards, the scavenge ports gets closed and the air gets compressed, and at top dead center the fuel gets injected, which creates a combustion pushing down the piston at force. And as the piston moves downwards, the exhaust valve opens and also it uncovers the scavenging ports. As fresh air enters the chamber, scavenging takes place, pushing the burnt exhaust gases out. The exhaust gas goes through a turbocharger which compresses the intake air, which then gets cooled using a water-to-air intercooler before going to the engine to continue the process. How does an aircraft engine work? Modern aircrafts use a turbofan engine. It generates thrust by sucking in air and burning it with fuel to create hot gases. These hot gases are then expelled out the back of the engine at high speeds, propelling the aircraft forward. The turbofan engine has a few main parts. The inlet. This is the front of the engine where the air is drawn in. The compressor. This is a series of blades that compress the air as it flows through the engine. The combustion chamber. This is where the compressed air is mixed with fuel and ignited, creating hot gases. The turbine. The hot gases flow through the turbine, which consists of blades that generate energy. The nozzle. The hot gases from the turbine flow through the nozzle, creating a jet of exhaust that produces thrust. The fan. The turbofan engine also has a fan located at the front of the engine. The fan sucks in air and mixes it with the exhaust gases, providing additional thrust. Overall, the turbofan engine is a powerful and efficient way to produce the thrust needed to fly an aircraft.